Hello everyone, it's late May, it's a lovely sunny day and I'm in my back garden, though it's rather windy. I'd like to show you a couple of things in the back garden, and then I'd like to take you to the plot, talk to you a little bit about where I get horse manure from and how I do liquid manure, and then to show you a few of the plants. At the moment I am totally behind with growing gladioli. I sort of got interested in them about a year or two ago and I've been collecting them since. I had intended planting them with a delay in between so that I would have continuity, so one pot planted up now, and in about 5 weeks time the second plot planted up, and I would then put them in the ground. That ain't gonna happen, so they're all going to go into pots. I'm even further behind with the dahlias, and I think I've lost a few expensive dahlias, but I'll see how that goes, and I need to pot those up pretty damn soon. Over here I have basil. I know a couple of YouTubers have mentioned how cheap the basil is, and it is. I think I bought the first pot for, well, and both of the pots for about 59 or 49 pence, and this one I put straight away into a bigger pot, and after about 3 or 4 weeks it had a good root system. Then I split it into 3 and I put lots of water. Basil absolutely adores water. This one I was a bit too impatient with, and I didn't wait till the roots developed. I just split it as soon as I got it, and you can see it's going to take a little while to recover. So in the future I might even try splitting some of the basil into single plants, because for £1 I get enough basil plants and I don't have to grow them from seed. I always say I only show the good bits of the garden, or this is a bad bit of the garden. This is what I just haven't had time to get around to. I've been planning this for the last 10 years, and every year I dig up the brambles and as much as I can before the clay soil grows absolutely hard, and then the grass grows and then it's messy. This is the blueberry patch, and I've got my blueberries in tubs. I've actually got 5 of them. There's one over there, and this whole area used to be a beautiful area of lovely flowers, and I will get back to that soon. It is the sunniest area in the garden. I've got blueberries, Brigitte and Herbert and a few others, and blue crop I think, and they were quite expensive. When I bought the first one it was about £8, and then I think they've gone up to £14 or £16 over the years. Despite this, I haven't neglected them, and I got such a good crop last year of blueberries, but they never made it to the kitchen because, as usual, I just ate them. While I'm here, I'll show you a plant, one of my favourites, which is a geum called bellbank. It is absolutely beautiful. It is my favourite. It's Geum rivali bellbank, so it sort of likes a lot of moisture in the ground, but a little bit of sun as well. And I think it's the great Geoffrey Smith, who used to do Gardener's World years ago. He's a good Yorkshireman, a late Geoffrey Smith, we think, who developed this. I'm not quite sure, but I used to have the hots for Geoffrey Smith when I was a kid, and I just remember him every time I look at this lovely, lovely Geum rivali bellbank. Finally, I'll just mention these pots. These I bought last year from Wilko because I was influenced by someone on YouTube, but they are really not very good. If we're trying to save on plastic, then these just split very easily, and I will not be buying them again. If I'm going to buy, I'll buy stronger plots such as these. These, on the other hand, I got free from Wisley. Wisley do what a lot of garden centres in the past used to do, is to take in old pots that people didn't want, and they also give out pots that they've used or the plants have died and they're no longer of use to them. And so these are really wonderful strong pots, and they've been used once by Wisley. They'll be used by me again and again and again till they break down. So I think if you're going to use plastic, that's a much better way. I'm on the allotment on plot 2, and I've got most of the paving stones I need. I'm probably short of about 13 or 14. I hadn't realised that I'd already saved quite a few at home, and I've brought most of those in now, and I'm hoping to find some more at some point. In the middle I've put some turfs. Down the road from me a neighbour had dug up part of their lawn, and they had an awful lot of good soil on those turfs, so I've brought them in with me. On top of this I will be putting some compost and manure. Talking about manure, I'll just show you a little bit of where I get my manure from. And this is where I get my horse manure from. It's about a 5-mile drive down the road from me. You have to dig it over there, drag the bags over there. There's an electrified fence there, which I certainly knew was electrified last summer. It doesn't really hurt when it touches your jacket. And then if I pan slowly round to the other side, you see the gorgeous fields. Lovely yellow, I think they're buttercups. Here just in front, it's absolutely dry now, but in winter it's almost like a moat, a swamp of awful brackish brown liquid. But because, due to the influence of that man, Terry King from Robotic Allotments, I now consider it to be a resource. Next winter I'm going to bottle it up, the runoff of the manure, and use it as manure for my garden. Back on the allotment and on plot 2, the overwintering radar onions are doing very well. I've had a few scapes come up, and a few of them I've been able to pull off when they were only about an inch high, but one or two have escaped. Oh, that's where they get the name from, probably, have escaped me. But I could start eating the onions now if I really wanted to, and it doesn't matter too much about the scapes because they're not going to be stored anyway. I'll be using these up as quickly as possible. Going just a bit further along the side of the allotment, I've got some radishes here, which are called white icicle, I think, and there are some beetroot little seedlings that I've grown, and I've also put some seed in directly into the soil which haven't come up. What I have noticed is the ground is incredibly dry. I seem to be watering these plots practically every second day. The Glen Ample raspberries, 3 of them have come up, and they've actually got little buds on them, so I'm going to have a few fruit, which I didn't expect, and no doubt, being sensible, I should probably take the fruits off to put the strength back into the soil, but hey, I'm going to eat them. And the 4th one, I'm not sure if that's going to take, but we'll see. And then a bit further along, these raspberries, the Morning Admiral, are doing very well, and I'm really pleased with that. On plot 1, I've interplanted a few lettuces in between the small strawberry plants. And have you noticed, look, those cheeky strawberries are already putting out runners. Okay, I've got Marvel of 4 Seasons over there, some little cos, little gem lettuces there. And here I've got multi-red and multi-green, which are really rather beautiful. Someone on YouTube advised that we try growing it, and it's excellent. Over on this side, the garlic has finally got rust. And strange to say that there's more rust on one type of garlic, that's Carcassonne white, and not so much on the Provence white. But it really is disappointing to get rust on my garlic finally. On plot 1, I'm back at the Tayberry patch, and it's really doing well. It looks really overcrowded with all the wildflowers, with the Phacelia. I just love that flower. Isn't it gorgeous? I don't know why people just use it for overwintering manure. And over here is the Erica raspberry, which has got an awful lot of fruit and buds on it. And the Tayberry itself has got lots of flowers and fruit on it. Because it's the evening now and the sun's gone down, it's a bit chilly. There aren't many bees, but normally there's plenty of bees over here. And on the other side of the wildlife bed, there is a little asparagus bed, and this is my 3rd harvest of asparagus. Just go a bit closer and take off all the soil. And then cut down below. And there's another bit of asparagus. That's quite a good haul for today. On one end of the plot, there's a whole lot of brambles and nettles and rubbish that shouldn't be there. But I've cut a whole lot of nettles and I put them into this trug over here, and I will steep them in water, and they will eventually form a nice nitrogenous mixture, which is handy to put on leafy plants such as cabbages and kale and those collards that I've got. I did this last year when they were old plants, and I read somewhere that it's better to do them when they're new plants at this time of the year because they have more nutrition in them. And I've now got a tub this full of the liquid, which I'm now going to decant This is good old Wilko's poultry manure pellets, which, can I just mention that on about the 26th of April they put their price down from £5 for 7 kilograms down to £4 for 7 kilograms, so I don't know how long that's going to last. And here are the nettles all chopped up. Now I use these shears because Mark from Allotment Diggers showed us how to use them on one of his videos. He got his little shears for 50p second hand. I got mine for £4 at Asda's, and I think it's £5 at Wilko's and £6 at Tesco's. I think they're all much of a muchness, but it does help it rot down quicker, I believe, and I've added water and it's already starting to stink and attract the flies. And I've done this also with comfrey. And this is the result of last year's liquid manure and nettle manure, liquid manure. Over here there are only 4 left. I had 8.5. I've used up half, but if you can see quite closely, the foxes must be able to smell through the plastic because I can't, and it must have smelt quite good to them because they've chewed up 4 of these bottles, and I won't make that mistake again. I'll put it out of reach for them. I love my foxes, but trying to learn to live with them is sometimes quite difficult. And over here the nettles from last year, only an 8 in that one, and I will be labelling them so I don't make a mistake again. I will now close with a picture of this beautiful rhododendron in my back garden, which I call sugar pink. Next time the YouTube is likely to be about a tour of both plots. I'll see you then. Take care, everyone.